Drawbacks of the arrays. What was the drawbacks of arrays? Hmm? Anyone having any idea? Arrays supports only what type of data we are going to store? Homogeneous, right? We
Yeah.
can store only homogeneous elements. We got it. So we cannot store heterogeneous elements. Got a point. Same type of data only we can store here in this arrays. Either it will be string or it will be integer like that. So we cannot store string and integer. So both the type of elements in a single array. Got it? And next one is what? So here arrays are the static. Array supports. So what type of memory? Static. Static in the sense what? So just we are going to define so how much data we are going to store. Got it? So means what here we are wasting the memory. This guy is not started recording. So
No, it's recording, Shiva.
it's recording
Yep.
that. So static memory is nothing but what? So we need to define the size, right? The starting of the array. Only. Whenever you were defining the array, a definition, so that time only you are going to define, right? What was the size of the array, right? So we cannot change the size at runtime. Why? Because this is not a dynamic. Am I right? Array memory size cannot be grow or shrink. So we cannot change this one. Okay, so at the runtime. At the runtime, we cannot change the size of the array. And here, so we don't have any ready-made methods. Manage the elements. Got it. So these are the drawbacks we are having inside the array. Right. So if you want to overcome these drawbacks, so then we are going to use what? Hmm? If you want to overcome these drawbacks, so we are going to use. Tell me, Kavya and Purnima. We are going to use what? The collections. we are going to use what? The collections. Right? See, by using collections, by using collection classes, by using collection classes, so we can store or we can manage both homogeneous and heterogeneous inside a collection. Got it? Right. So any type of the data we can store. Any type of the data we can store. Next one. Collections will be the dynamic memory. Connection will support for what? For dynamic memory allocation. Got it. So what happened the dynamic allocation? So at the runtime we can change it. At the runtime if you want to increase or decrease, so that is depends upon the you. Means what you are not wasting the memory. You are not wasting the memory, right? Which provides the efficient utilization of the memory. You got it? Right. So dynamic is nothing but what? So there is any restriction to store the data? No. Okay, so we can store unlimited elements. So whatever you want, how many elements you want to store, you can store that much of elements. So in array, you are going to define the size, but collections, you are not define the size. Right, at the runtime, you are adding the values. At the runtime, you are adding the values. Right. So we can store unlimited number of elements inside the collection. What happened? Only two members attended. Right. Next. So suppose the static memory. Okay. Next. Collection size. Collection size can grow or shrink at runtime. This is dynamic now. So we can increase or decrease the size of the collection. You got it? Depends upon the number of elements by the user at runtime. There is a runtime. Okay, next one. Here in this collections, Apex provides ready-made classes, ready-made methods. It provides a collection of ready-made methods to manage exists inside the collection. Okay, so arrays will store only homogeneous elements. You got it. So it supports only a static memory allocation. Right? It cannot increase or decrease the size of this one, and We don't have any ready-made methods. We don't have any ready-made methods. So these are the drawbacks of the array. Right. Then coming to the collections, so we can manage both. Okay, so homogeneous and heterogeneous elements. Right. It will support a dynamic memory allocation. It supports dynamic memory allocation. Right. We can store unlimited number of elements. Got it. So it can grow or shrink the size of the runtime. And then after here we have some ready-made methods. Some ready-made methods. Got a point? Right. So then Apex provide how many types of collections? Apex provide how many type of collections? Apex provides three types of collections. Apex provides three types of the collections. The first one is what? A list collection. Second one is what? A set collection. And third one is what? A map collection. Third one is what? Map collection. First one is what? List. Second one is what? A set. And third one is what? A map. Got it. So today we'll see about the list collection. Today we'll see about what type of collection? That is a list collection. So what do you know about the list collection? What do you know about this list collection? Hmm? List is an ordered collection. Ordered collection. Ordered collection is nothing but what? So whatever the values entered by the user, it follows the same order. Got it? So whatever the values entered by the user. Okay, so based on the index positions is there na? Index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3 like that. So whatever the format, whatever the sequence we have provided, it follows the same sequence, right? At the time of inserting. Got a point? So list is a ordered a collection. List is a ordered collection. That is the elements will be rather than the collection in the same order. Am I right? So etc. Got a point? Next. So what type of elements we are going to store inside the list? What type of elements we are going to store the inside the list? A list will support. A list will support. Tell me. Store primitive data type.
Yeah.
Next, Apex types. Next, S object types. Later, S object types, a comma. We have collection types also, right? Collection types and a user defined types. Okay, so these type of data we are going to store inside the list. Okay, so so the collections will be the dynamic. Got it? And see here, the third point, listable allows List will allow us to store what? Duplicate values, right? Duplicate elements. Got it? So list will allow us what? Duplicate elements. Good point. So the first point is what? So list is a ordered collection. Second one is what? So it allows the all primitive data types, apex type, as object type, collection types, and user defined types. Next one, so list will allow us to store duplicate elements. The same values we can store multiple times. The same values we can store multiple times. Got my point? Then after. So what was the syntax? What was the syntax of the list? See here, list. Then after here you have to define the data type. Got it? And then after object name, or we called as the subject name, equals to a new list. A new list. Here the data type. Here the data type. Got it? So this is the syntax of the list. Let's see some examples. For example, I want to store the integer values. List integer integer list integer customer IDs. List integer customer IDs equals to a new list. Same here also we have to use integer. Here also we have to use integer. Right. So then, so what's the meaning of this one? What's the meaning of this one? It can hold a collection of integer elements. Got it? It can hold a collection of integer elements. If you want to store the integer elements, just have to define here the integer. Have to define here the integer. For example, I want to store the string values. List string customer names. Customer names equals to a new list string. So what was the purpose of using this one? It can hold a collection of string values, string elements. Got it. So for example, I want to store the record ID. I want to store the record ID. See, every record having one a unique ID. I want to store that ID. I want to store that ID. How can I store that ID? Hmm? So what was the data type we have to use? List ID. List ID. Records IDs equals to new list ID. New list ID. Got it. This is what it can hold a collection of how many characters we have? 18 characters. 18 characters I did. Got it? So then I want to use the mm, I want to use the S object. Got it? How can I use the S object? For example, I want to store the data inside the accounts. You have to use account list accounts equals to new list, new list. Here also the same object name account, same object name account. Right? See here, it can hold what type of data? Collection of elements. Right? Where each element, is an account record.
So here, Shiva, here account is an object. It's not a data type. It's an
Account is an object, not record type. Got it?
oh,
Standard object, standard object.
okay.
Got a
So
point?
in the data type, we are defining account as
Yeah, see here, I already told to you. So
mm,
primitive data types and here S object data types.
yes. Okay.
Got my point? S object
Yeah.
is nothing but what Salesforce object. So whatever the objects you created inside the Salesforce, all the
Mm,
objects comes under S object.
yes.
Here I use a primitive data type integer. Here the string ID will be what? That is a Apex type. Got it? ID will be available in Salesforce, right? That is Apex data types. And the collection is this is what account is what? This is
Yes.
S object type. This is the
Okay.
standard one.
Okay. So in the meantime, so as object, we can use any standard object which is appearing in the
Ah,
Salesforce.
any standard object. Instead of account, you can use opportunity, contact, whatever it may be. Product.
Okay.
We have multiple objects. Is then standard objects. We
Mhm.
can use those objects.
Okay. So
Right.
what we are defining in the account then, the object what we are defining is because account is an object, it has a multiple n number of fields, right? So uh, so what we
See, see,
what
see,
we
see. See here. See here. Just you can read this. It can hold the collection of elements. Elements is
okay,
nothing but what? That is called the record.
okay,
Got it?
okay.
Records, not fields. Only
Record.
it will store the records. Record having fields. That is different. So that's why here I defined is an account record. Every element is an account record.
Okay.
Got it? So don't
Yeah.
consider about the fields. Fields will be
Okay.
different. So consider the record.
So
Okay.
record means the field or the values are record, right? So it's example account name. That is the name what we are writing. That is a
See,
record.
inside that record. Okay. So for example, 10 fields is there. Okay.
Mhm.
So in the 10 fields, so minimum one field is mandatory field. That is called the name or auto number. Right?
Mhm.
We are not considering whether the fields having the data or not. We
Mhm.
consider only the record. That's enough.
Okay.
Got it? We are not considering the fields, only record. The records will be countable. The fields will be that is secondary. See, for example, so every record so don't have all the field values. So
Mhm.
minimum 10 fields is then okay. So some people are having some records having one or two field values, some records having five or six values. So that's why we are not counting the fields. It's not related to the fields first of all,
Okay.
only for
Okay.
this records.
Okay. I understand. So
Okay.
if in 10 fields, only five records or five values of fields are there, that is considered as a record. That's it. We are not.
No. So not only five fields. See,
Mhm.
every record holding a minimum one mandatory field.
Yeah.
Every record holding a minimum one mandatory field. Right? So if the
Mhm.
record was created, so we are countable. That's enough. So what are the fields inside that object, right? What are the fields inside that record we cannot consider? For example, here students object is there. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to assign only the name and then click on save button, right? So
Yeah.
this will be considered the record. This
Okay.
will be considered as a record, right? So
Okay.
we cannot see inside what are the fields we have, what are the data we are having.
Okay.
Got it? So if you
Yeah.
want to see what was the data inside we are having, in that
Mm-hmm.
situation we are writing the queries. Got it?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So this is what, so if you want to store the data, if you want to store the bulk data, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do some activities on the data, we are going to use these collections.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Then, so this is what a standard one. For example, I'm going to use the a custom object, a student underscore underscore C, right? For the custom objects, the object name should be underscore underscore C. You have to call the API name. You have to call the API name. List students equals to a new list student underscore underscore C. So what is the meaning of this one?
Shiva, so here you gave the list student under underscore is the API name of a object, right?
Hmm.
And the list students is the name for that object. It's up to us what we can give what is
List name. This is called the what? A list name.
okay.
This is what a list name. You're
Okay.
getting some confused. We can do one thing
Yeah.
here. A list name, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now it is clear.
Yes.
Sorry.
The
Here
list
I
name
written
we can
object
give.
name.
We can define ourselves. We no need to depend on anything. We can just give
So
what.
whatever it may be, whatever you can define.
Okay.
Okay. So it was a collection of a student records inside it. Now it is clear, right? It holds a collection of a student records inside the it means what in this object. So how many records we are having, we are getting that information. You got a point, right? So this is called the what? List. List is an ordered collection. A list is an ordered collection, right? It's supposed to store this type of data types. Next, it allows the duplicate values also. It allows the duplicate values also. This is the syntax and this is the example. Next, coming to the next point. So list will support for the 5 levels of nested leaf. List collection nested lifts up to 5 levels. Up to 5 levels. Up to 5 levels. So what is the meaning of nested list? See here, list inside this list. Got it? Inside this list. Inside this list. 4. Inside this list. Got it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then after string 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it? So a list collection name equals to a new list. Now also same thing. You can copy paste. Got it? So this is called the what? Nested ellipse. Inside the list, we are having one more list. Inside the list, we are having one more list. Inside the list, we are having one more list. Got a point? Right. Then we missed one point here. Each element inside the collection identified as what? Index. Index position. So which starts from where it starts? 0. This is the fourth property. This is the fourth property. Right. So this will be suppose for the nested list up to the 5 levels inside the list. So we can use so 4 inside the list. We can use 4. Next, so inside these collections we are having some methods. We are having some methods. So what are the methods? Let's see. What are the methods? Let's see. So for example, here I'm having one a list example, that is a list string, list name equals to new list string, new list string. Got it? Then the first method, the first method, the first method is what? Add. The first method is what? Add. So here inside, so we have to use the element name, element name. This is called the what? Add. The first one is what? Add method. The first one is what? Add method. How can I add the values to the list? How can I add the values to the list? That is the first one. Let's see. This method is used to add a new element to the collection. Got a point? At the end of the collection means what? So whatever the values you are adding, okay, so that values will be added at the end of the collection. At the end of the collection, for example, first I added one value, okay, so the next value will be goes to the ending of the collection. Okay, so not starting of the collection, it will add the elements to the ending of the collections. Got a point? And then after, so we can add only one element at a time by using this method, right? So by using this method, so we can add only one element at a time. We can add only one element at a time. Got it? So what was the example for this? Here the string is now. So what was the name? That is lst name. The list name is what? Lst name dot add is a method. And then after, so within the brackets I am going to provide the value. So what was the value? Element value? Welcome. The first one is what? Welcome. I added here the welcome. Got it? So what was the index position? This one is index 0. This one is index 0. So whenever I'm adding a second one, right, so list name, list name dot add apex. So this is what index 1. This is what index 1. Got a point? And then after lst name dot add. You can use a small letter, capital letter, that is not a issue. This is index 2. So not only these values, we can add the integer values also. List name dot add something value. It should be inside the code. Why? Because here we used a string data type. Index 3. Got it? So like this, we are going to add the values inside the collection. So the first method is what? That is add. The first method is what? Add. Right? How many elements we added here? 3 elements, 4 elements. 0, 1, 2, 3. The index will be start from the 0, numbering start from the 1. Just tell me
We have to define the string right over there, like list string. We don't need to
where.
here. Actually, you mentioned is had, right? So before doing anything, so we have to mention list. So we
See,
don't.
this is the list name. List
Okay.
name. Right?
Okay. List
Always
name.
we have
Okay.
to call the list name, then after
Uh-huh.
method, then after the value.
Okay.
So this is called the list name. Here I used what? LST name, the example. Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Based on this example, I written that program. This is my
Okay.
list name. And
Okay.
so what type of data we are storing? That is string. So that's why here I used a single quotes.
Okay. 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 I understand. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Right. Then coming to the second method. Then coming to the second method, add. We are going to add to the a specific bit position. Right? For example, in index 1, I want to add the value. Got it? In index 1, I want to add the a value. Okay. So add integer. Right? You have to pass the integer values only. Then after index position. Index position. Got a point? Index position. And then after, so what was the element value? Element name. By using this method, we can insert a new element at the specified bit position. It specified the index position. Got it? So what was the example for this? What was the example for this? What was the name of the list? That is a list name, a list name. Got it? Dot add. See here, the same thing I'm using. List name dot add here. So whenever you are adding the value at the bit position, any bit position. So first of all, you need to specify the bit position, like index position. That is 1, 1 comma. Right here, I'm adding the a value. See, 1 comma, adding the value. Index position 1. Index position 1. Got a point? So this is called the what? Adding a specific value, adding a specific, adding a value to the specific bit position. Basically, what was the values you were adding? It will be add at the end of the collection one by one. but I want to add at index position 1 here. So instead of apex, what happened? And automatically India will be added. Then what happened to this apex? This apex will be moved to the next index position. The first will be goes to second, second will be goes to third. Automatically the change the position. So whenever we are adding, this is called the add, not replace. Replace means what? So what was the existing value will be removed, and then we are adding a new value. Add is nothing but what? So just we are adding the value in that particular bit position, index position. So what was the present value we are having? The present value position automatically we change it to the next level. That is called the right side. Right side means what? Position number 2. Got it? Right. So this is called the second one. We are adding a specific index position. Then coming to the third one. Any idea about third one? Hmm? Size. Right. How can I find out the list size? Right. How can I find out the list size? This method will return an integer value. It returns a integer value, right? Uh, which indicates the number of elements exist inside the collection. Got a point? So what are the how many values we are having? If you want to find out, then obviously we have to use this method. How to use this method? So what's the example? Lst name dot size. Lst name dot size. So whenever using size means what? Obviously you are getting the size of the collection. Obviously you are getting the size of the collection. Got it. Then coming to the fourth one, boolean is empty. Is empty is nothing but what? Boolean is empty. Is empty is nothing but what? For example, I want to know whether collection is empty or not. Got it? So collection holding some values or not. You will get one doubt, Shiva, where we are using this type of methods. Right? So whenever you're writing the trigger, right? So whether the value is stored or not. So once the value is stored, and obviously that particular S object holding some data, that situation we can see either the size of the uh, object, or whether it will be empty or not. It will be empty or not. One second. What happened? Certified administrator 11 a.m. 11 a.m. was same paper. Right. Next, so boolean is empty. Okay, we are going to find out whether my collection is empty or having some values. If it is true, means what? It is empty. If it is just the false, means what? It having some data. Got it? This method is used to identify empty or not. Got it? So it will return um, true. Collection is empty. Got it. Else it returns false. Got a point? What was the example for this one? LST name dot is empty. LST name dot is empty. Just we are checking. Just we are checking like this. So whether list having empty or not. So this is for find outing the size, and this is for just we are checking the empty or not. Got a point? See in these collections, what are the methods? So we discussed as of now. The first one is what how to add the element, and then after how to add the element in a specific bit position, and how can I find out the size of the list, right? And then after, so we are going to check whether this one is what empty or not, empty or not. Got it. And next, coming to the next method. Coming to the next method, add all. Right. See here. So what we are doing. So here. So here, each and every element we are adding individually. Each and every element we are adding individually. So then what we have to do? So here I have a source collection is there and destination collection is there. Means what? So one collection to another collection. One collection to another collection. So directly we are adding the data. So that is called the what? Add all. Okay. So whenever adding the information from source to the destination, then we are going to use this add all. Okay. This method, got a point? Right. So we are adding one collection to the another collection. So that is called the what? Add on. That is called the what? Add on. Okay. Let's see the example. So don't worry, we are seeing in practical also all those things. String an array, country name equals to a new string. Here just we are going to define the all the elements individually. Single quotes, right? So here the country names will be added to the all the things. So that is called the what? Add on. Then coming to the Next one, so I want to get a specific bit position information. I want to get a specific bit position information. So that is called the what? Get. That is called the what? Get. Then after within the brackets we are going to so provide the index position. Index position. Got a point? Index position. This method will returns what was the element? List name. Lst name dot get within the brackets one. Within the brackets one. So here in bit position one, what we stored here? Apex, right? And obviously here we are getting apex is the output. Apex is the output. Got it. Then after, let's see. So whenever I called a list name dot get and within the brackets 10, with the brackets 10. So here, how many values here we added? We added only 4 values. So what was the index position? From 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Got it. So for example, here what we did, so we are called index position 10. Then what was the value we are getting? What was the value we are getting? So it throws an expression. Right? So what's that? Index index out of bound. Got it. It shows a simple error. So why? Because so you store the values only from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 only. But so whenever call the get position from the 10, so means what? Obviously that is the error. Obviously that is the error. Got it? So how many values we stored, right? So we can get only that values. Got a point? So that is the get. Then coming to the seventh one, remove. Remove. I want to remove the information, a specific bit position information. Right? That is index position. I'm going to remove a specific index position value. For example, here under the 2, right, under the bit position 2, I store a Hyderabad. Right, if I want to remove only Hyderabad value only, right, then we can go for the remove method. We can go for the remove method. Got it? Specific bit position. Got a point? So what was the example for this? What was the example for this? LST name. Got it. So LST name dot remove within the brackets two. Within the brackets two. Right. So what was the value remove? What was the value remove? Hyderabad. Higher above the value is reward. You got a point? Got it. Then coming to the next one. 7. Eighth one is what? Clear. Clear. Clear is nothing but what? I want to clear my list. I want to delete. So what was the values we are having inside my list? All the elements. All the elements. See, remove is nothing but what? A specific big position. Clear is nothing but what? All those things. Clear is nothing but what? All those things. Got it? Hmm. LST name dot clear. LST name dot clear. So whenever I used LST name dot clear, right, and obviously, so what was the information we are having in this list? Everything will be cleared. Okay, all the values will be automatically removed. Then coming to the ninth one, so that is called the what? Sort. That is called the what? Sort. Sort is nothing but what? Sorting the data. Sorting the data, right? So which sorting format here by default it provides, that is called the what? Ascending order, right? So whenever user sort, right, the data what we entered, the data will be becomes a ascending order. Got it? Which order? Ascending order. LST name dot sort. LST name dot sort. Got it? So these are the methods we are having inside this list type of the collection. These are the methods we are having a list type of the collection. So let's see practically, so how we are going to use these methods.
So, Shiva, for sort, actually, how it sort means what type? It will sort it out like alphabetic order, is that way?
See,
Like
see
as
here, see
you said. Mhm.
what are the list properties? What are the list collection properties? So what was the information we entered? See, listed and ordered collection. Ordered is nothing but what? So, what was the order you enter? It follows that order only. Either it
Correct.
may be ascending order or descending order. It does not follow anything. First, you
Yes.
stored number 10. Okay, so then after 40, then after 5. So, as it is, it will shows that information. So
Mm.
basically, so 10, 45. What was the sequence we are getting? 5, 10, 40 in output in general. But so list is nothing but what? So whatever the user information entered, it follows the same information, right?
Correct.
But
Yes.
user want, okay, so some order. User wants some order. Here we are having only one order, so that is only the ascending order. Got it? So we don't have descending order, right?
Okay. And the list follows only the ascending order if you want to sort it out.
Yes, I mean, so sorry. List does not follows any order. So
Any
what was
order.
the order defined by the user, right?
Okay.
Okay, so that will be follow. Then user wants any ascending order na, means
Mm.
any one of the order. Only ascending or descending order is not supported here in this list.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Program. Just you can go here debug, and just you can select open execute anonymous window. Just maximizing this one, and now I'm writing the program. Right. See. So first, what we are doing? So just we are defining the collection, a list collection. How can I define the list collection? How can I define the list collection? What was the syntax? List. I'm using a string type of data type. String lst names equals to new list string. New list string. Got it. So this is my list collection. So here I defined the list collection. Got a point. Let's see here. Initially, I'm displaying the size. Just first, I'm displaying the size. How can I display the size? A system dot debug. System dot debug. Right. Collection size is. Collection size is. How can I check the collection size? How can I check the collection size? Right. See here. The list name dot size. This is the integer value. This is what integer value. What was the list name? Here, what was the list name? What was the list name? This one. List names dot size. List name dot size. Right. It gives the collection size. It gives the collection size. Then click on execute and click on execute. Right. We executed the program. So let's see the output. So what was the collection size? So as of now we didn't enter anything. Obviously that is 0. See here, my collection size is what? How much? 0. Session is recording or not?
It's it's recording, Shiva. I can see
Okay.
that.
That the collection size is what? How much? 0. So now what I'm doing, just I'm going to adding the elements. How can I add the elements? The list name dot add. The list name dot add. See here, I'm entering numbers also. I'm entering numbers also. Got it? So here is the string. You can enter the numbers also, but in a single course. But in a single course. You got it? So now what I'm doing here, I'm checking a system dot debug. System dot debug. What's that? After adding the elements. After adding the elements, collection size is greater. So once we added the element, so what was the a collection size? Later, lst names dot size. Lst name dot size. Got it? So here 0. Here we are getting what? Obviously, how many? 4. Click on execute. Just click on debug only. See here. So this one is what 0. So whenever we started first, whenever we created the collection, so that time whenever we find out the size, how much? 0. So now it will be 4. Now it will be 4. Got a point? Right. And then after what we have to do, right? I want to display the data. See here, just we find out the information. I want to display the data. All elements in a single row. Right? How can I do that? System dot debug. System dot debug. Collection elements are plus. So what was the collection name? Just you can call only the collection name, right? It will shows. So what was the data we entered? What was the data we entered? Click on execute. Click on execute. Click on debug only. See here, welcome Apex Hyderabad 16443. Then I want to show this data in an individual line. First welcome, first line welcome. Second Apex. Next one is what? Hyderabad. Next one is what? That number. I want to show the data in a separate lines. Then if you want to display the separate line, so then how can I display the data? How can I display the data? Tell me, Vamshi and Purnima, how can I display the data?
Sorting or edit.
No. Purnima, what about you?
By calling index number.
By calling index number, how can you call the index number? Means
The
what every
welcome.
line, huh?
Uh, the
Every
welcome.
line, every line you are calling index value? No. What we have
No.
to do? So I'm going to use the loop. Got it?
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
use what? The loop. Let's
Okay.
see. By using what? For loop. Got a point? By using what? For loop. How can you use the for loop? For integer, right? Index equals to 0, the starting number. Got it? Index is equals to 0, starting number. Then after index less than or equals to what was the collection size here we're find outing. This one is collection find size. Means what? Last value. Got it? Comma index index plus plus. Got a point? Then after a debug system.debug collection elements is, so which loop? That is for loop. That is for loop plus lst names, lst names dot get entire index. Got a point? Right? So by using for loop, so what we are doing, we are displaying the data. For loop, we are displaying the data. Got it? Now click on execute. See, by using for loop, welcome Apex Hyderabad 16443. Got it? So I used what? For loop. So without a for loop, everything will be a single line. So now this one. So what I'm doing is then I'm using enhanced for loop. We are having enhanced for loop also, right? So let's see how can I use the enhanced for loop. Enhanced for loop. Got it? So for so what type of data we are storing? That is string, right? See here any name element name colon. So then what was the list name? That is lst names. lst names. Okay. Enhanced for loop here. So what we have to do? So what was the instance name here I used? Right, I need to call that instance name. Got it? Then click on execute and click on execute. See, let's click on debug only. The same thing for the enhanced for loop also. So whether you can use the right, so for loop or else enhanced for loop. See, just we can observe here one point. See, I know. So what was the indexable positions from 0 to the size? 0 is the basic one. That is the starting will be 0. I don't know what was the index. So basically here index equals to I can provide 3. Why? Because I stored here 4 values now. Index will be 3. So index equals to 3. So I didn't provide index equals to 3. So why? Because I don't know size of the index. I don't know size of the index. Got a point? So in that situation, what we have to do? I'm going to find out directly the size, and here we are allocating to this index. Got it? Starting index and ending index. Right? So if you don't think I don't want pass the index values directly by using enhanced for loop, we can go like this. We can go like this. Got a point? Right? So and then after, so what we are doing? So we are going to checking the empty or not. Right? How can I check? See here, if I'm writing if condition, right? LST names, LST names dot is empty, right? If LST names dot is empty, see here. So boolean. So it shows what? Boolean, true or false. It shows true or false. So here integer size will be like an integer and is empty is the boolean. Is empty is the boolean. Got it? So if it is empty, so what you have to do? If it is empty, what you have to do? A system dot debug, debug collection is empty. Collection is empty. Right? So no elements found. No elements found. Got it? So if it is empty, right? Else, if it is not empty, else then what we have to do? A system dot debug collection size is not empty. Collection size is not empty. Got it? So just we are checking this one. Just we are checking this one whether it will be empty or not. Whether it will be empty or not. Got a point? Right. So then click on execute. Then click on execute. See, my collection size is not empty. But because we already having one values, we already having the values. That's why it's not showing. Got it. Then I want to add the okay, so element in specific to bit position. Got a point? Insert the element at the specified index position. Index position. How can I add? How can I add? LST names dot add LST names dot add. Then after I'm going to add it bit position 1. What was the bit position? Means what? Index position 1 comma. Then here we can add the value. Got it? So that is a UK. I added what was the value? That is UK. Got it? So then, so what I'm doing, I'm checking the output. System dot debug. System dot debug. Got it? See, after inserting the element collection sizes. Got it? So once you inserted the element, right? So then what was the collection size? Press LST names LST names dot size LST names dot size. Got a point, right? And then after a system dot debug, right? After inserting element, right? After inserting a new element, right? Then the collection elements are right here. I'm going to show all those things. I'm going to show all those things. LST names. LST names. Got a point? Now click on execute. See here. So previously we are having 4 here. Now it will be the 5. Got it? So here welcome UK Apex Hyderabad. So 1644. So where I added here. So bit position 1. So 0 position we are having welcome and the first position we are having Apex. Right? So whenever I added the UK, automatic the Apex will be goes to the next one. The Apex will be goes to the next position. Got a point? Next position. Right? So then, so this listables allows the duplicate values. Am I right? Listable allows duplicate values. Got it. Then how can I add the duplicate values? Adding the duplicate elements. Right? How can I add? How can I add LST names dot add? I'm going to add Apex. Apex is there. Just I'm going to add Apex. Apex. Got a point. So what we did, I added Apex. system dot debug. Got it? So just we are fine-tuning the size. Just click on execute. So previously we are having 5. So now it will be, so one more thing will be added. So it becomes the 6. See here, see here, we're having 6. Size will be the 6. You got it? Right. And then after, so I'm going to remove the value in a specific bit position. In a specific bit position, I'm going to remove the value. I'm going to remove the value. Remove an element. Right. So what was the list name? LST names dot remove. Right. So what we have to do? Remove. So which position? That is bit position 2. Bit position 2. Right. So in this bit position, so what was the values we are having? I removed that information. A system dot debug. A system dot debug after removing the element collection sizes. Collection sizes plus lst names dot size. Lst names dot size. Then click on execute. Then click on execute. See here, here we're having 6. Here we're having 6. We added a duplicate value 6. And then after we remove one value now, then it becomes a 5. Then it becomes the 5. Got a point? So here, what was the values we are having? So these values is not in a order format, right? Or not in a ascending order. So then what I'm doing, I'm going to add this information in a ascending order. Got it? Let's see. What's that name? That is called the water sorting. Sorting the elements. Right? LST names dot sort. LST names dot sort. Right? So once you use this method, so then automatically a dot debug system dot debug after a sorting collection not size right plus lst names. Got it? The same thing I want to show this information in a enhanced for loop format. Right, same variable we cannot use, right? execute. Why it's showing error? Sort semicolon missing. See here, automatically sorting the data. Here, what we have, welcome UK Apex Hyderabad. First will be integer value, then after A, H, U, W. See, got a point? Right. Then coming to the next one. Setting the value to an existing element. How can I that? LST names dot set LST names dot set. Got it. And then after, so in which position we can go for the one, one comma, one comma, this one. See, so previously we used what? Add. Add is nothing but what? Adding the value. Adding the value. You know, the setting the value. Add will be different, the setting will be different. So instead of this one, so what I'm doing, just I'm going to add the Australia, AUS. Got it? So now, see, system dot debug. Okay, so after assigning collection elements are plus LST names, that's enough. That's enough. Got it. So then if you want to show the output, see what we did. So previously I added the value. Now I setted the value. Add is nothing but what? Adding the values to the specific bit position, and what was the previous value we are having, that previous value will be jumped to the next bit position. The previous value will be jumped to the next bit position. That is called the what? Add. Set is nothing but what? Set is nothing but what? You are setting the value. You are setting the value. So what was the previous information we are having? That information will be removed. That information will be removed. That is called the difference between set and add. Set and add. The next one is what? Remove.
So just a second. So the index position one will earlier it was like Apex, so it will change to the AUS. Am I correct? That's the
Yes, Australia. Right.
okay. Okay. So that is called
Next.
set.
Set. This one. Setting the value. Okay. Ah, how can I remove? LST names dot clear. Clear. Got it. So now see, just I'm going to find out the spice. System dot debug collection sizes. Collection sizes plus LST names dot size dot size. Got it? So now click on execute. Now click on execute. it becomes a zero. Why? Because so we cleared everything now. So now the output will be zero. See, what was the first property? Set is an unordered collection. Got it? So means what? Where the elements got it? So what was the order we provided? It does not follow the order. So it follows the by default it follows the what type of order? That is ascending order. That is ascending order. Got it? Next, coming to second one is what? Set collection supports dynamic collection. What a Then after a set collection size can grow or shrink. At runtime. Got it? So at runtime, it's automatically increase or decrease the values. Got it? And then after set collection can hold. So what type of data? What type of data? So primitive data. Primitive type of elements. Next, this object type of elements. Next, collection type. Next, apex type. Got it? Apex type. Next, set collection will not allows duplicate elements. Right? A set will not allow the duplicate elements. Got a point? Not allows duplicate elements. So have a simple note. Right? That means what? It maintains the uniqueness of the elements by using by using binary comparison. By using a binary comparison. You know what is the meaning of binary comparison? Okay, we already discussed it, right? So in our operators, got it. So see, what was the syntax for this set? What was the syntax? Hmm? Set, right? A data type. Got it. Then after set name equals to a new set a data type. new set, a data type. Got a point? Right? Set is an unordered collection. Set is an unordered collection, and set supports for the dynamic memory allocation, and the set collection size it is automatically increase or decrease. Automatically increase or decrease. Got a point? Got a point? Right. So what was the example for this? What was the example for this? So we already written some examples. I got it. These are the examples. So instead of list, so how to use the set. New set. There is no difference for the syntax. There is no difference for the syntax. Instead of a list, so what I'm doing, I'm using set. Instead of list, I'm using the set. Got it? So this is the set collection. This is the set collection. Got it? The same as the list as we are having, right? Some method here in this set also, right? The same things will be support, and some of the things will be not support. Some of the things will be not support. Let's see. So what was the methods we are having? Let's see. So what was the methods we are having in this set? What was the methods? Right. So first I'm defining the set string string um, names collection equals to a new set string. New set string. Got it. So let's see. The first one is what? The first one is what? Add. The first one is what? Add element name. Got it. The first one is what? Add. So element name. Collection. Next. Got a point? So in lister, so what was the value you are assigning? Right, it follows the same format, but coming to the sort, it follows what was the information entered by the user. Got it? What was the information entered by the user? What was the list name? That is a names collection. A names collection. Dot add. Dot add. We have to use the add. Right? The method will be the same. But so whenever I use this method, right? So instead of list, okay, so obviously it will be sorting order. Welcome. Got a point? So like this, we are going to add. Right. Then coming to the second one, add all. Add all. Right. So just we're adding all the names at a time. So what was the example for this? What was the example for this? Set string country names equals to new set string. Got a point. Right. The country names dot add. Got it? So this is called the what? Add out. Next one is what? The same thing that is called the what? Size. The next one is what? Side. What type of size? That is integer size. Integer size. Got it? It allows a integer number. The collection size. What was the example? What was the example? Names collection. Names collection dot size. Names collection dot size. Got a point? Next one. So just we are find outing whether this one is what empty or not. Whether this one is what empty or not. The set will be empty or not. Right. So what type of return type this one? Boolean. Boolean is empty or not. Boolean is empty or not. Whether collection is empty or not. Right. See, if it is true, the collection is empty. Got it? The collection is empty. If it is false, collection is not empty. The collection is not empty. Got a point? True means what? It's empty, and the false is nothing but what? It's not an empty. Next, names collection dot is empty. Names collection dot is empty. Got a point? Names collection dot is empty. Just we're checking whether this one is what empty or not. Empty or not. Got a point? Then after here, so we have one more method. So that is called the water. So whether some values is there, I don't know what are the values we are having, how many values we are having. Then what I'm doing, so just I'm going to find out so whether the specific value will be available here or not. The specific value will be available or not. Got a point? The specific value will be available or not. Just we are find outing. So by using contain, by using contain. So this is also a Boolean type of value method contains. Just we are checking so whether the element is having here or not. This one is not available in list. It returns true. It returns true if the element is there. Got it. Later. Else, else it returns false. Else returns a false. Got a point? Else it returns a false. Later. Next. So what was the example? A names collection dot contains. Names collection dot contains. Apex. If it is returns a true, means what the apex value is available inside this. The apex value is available inside the list. Got it? Done. Coming to the next one, sixth one. Sixth one, a remove. Sixth one is what? A remove. Just we are removing the specific element. Element from the collection. Element from the collection. Got it? So what was the example? How can I do that? Names collection dot remove. Names collection dot remove. What's that? Welcome. Right? What I'm doing? I'm going to remove the welcome. Then coming to the seventh one, clear. Seventh one is what? Clear. From the collection. You got a point? So how can I clear? Names collection dot clear. Names collection dot clear. So we're clearing the data. We're clearing the data. Got it? We're clearing the data. Right? So this is one method. So how many methods we are having? We are having seven methods. We are having seven methods. And coming to the list, we are having more than list. See here, some of the methods will be not supported. Right? Whenever you want to store the right information in a specific bit position, right, that will be not supported. See here, the set will be what? It's a unordered collection. It supports a dynamic memory allocation later. So dynamically, so at runtime, it will grow and shrink, and it holds the primitive S object and the apex type of the data types. Right? Set will not allows the duplicate element. Set will not allow the duplicate element. Right? So what are the information here we're having? So that information we are maintaining here in this format. Got a point? And then after, so these are the different methods we are having in this list. The first one is what? Add method. General add method. Next one is what? Add all method. Adding the values to the all at a time. Next one is what? We are finding the size. Next, so we are checking whether this one is empty or not. Right. So just we are finding whether a specific value will be available in this a collection or not. So just we are removing a specific value, right? And then we are clearing all the values at a time. So these are the methods we are having in this set. So today your assignment is what? So like this. So like this. So what I written the example for the list, the same example for the set you have to do. The same example for the set you have to do. Got a point? First to define the set, then after add the values. Just you can check one by one the method. Check one by one the method. Next one is what? A map collection. So what is the meaning of map? So why we are going for the map? So what are the disadvantages we are having in this list set? Okay, so we are going to overcome here in this map. Got it? The same properties we are having. So what are the listed set properties we are having in this map also having the same properties. Same properties. Okay. So let's see. Map is a key value, key and value pair collection. Pair collection. Got it. And contains a key and a value. See, the map will be gives the both the uniqueness and a duplicate. Got it? So map will gives the both the uniqueness and duplicate value. So here a key should be the unique. Key should be the unique, right? Then coming to the right, and the value is the duplicate value. Okay, so may or may not. That is our wish. Got it? So, but here key is there now. The key should be a unique. Key should be a unique. Got my point? For example, let's go for the student names and roll number. The roll numbers will be the different, but coming to the student names, that we are having multiple students, we are having multiple students name. Got a point? Right? So, uh, same thing, map collection, dynamic memory. Got it? Map collection allows the dynamic allocation. Right? And next one is what? Tell me. Got it? It provides a dynamic error allocation at the runtime. You can so provide the values at the same time, so you can increase the size and you can decrease the size. Got a point? And then after, okay, how to supply the key. We have to supply the key value in order to identify the values or elements. Right? So next one is what? So map is a unordered collection, like a set. Map is a what's that? Unordered a collection, like a set. Got a point? Next. So it accepts what type of data? It accepts obviously primitive type of the data, as object type, collection type of the data. Okay. So key and values may be of what type? So primitive. Next one is what? As object. Session was recording or not?
Recording, Shiva.
Okay. So it's object collection. Next one is what? Apex type. Apex type. Got it. So what was the syntax? What was the syntax of this? See here, just we can observe syntax of this map. Map, right? First one is what? Key data type, key data type, comma, value data type. Means what? We have to use the two data types. Got it? So next map collection name equals to a new map, the same thing. Key data type, comma, value a data type. Got it. So previously in this list set we used only one data type, only one data type. But coming to the map, we can use two data types. We can use two data types. Got a point? Right. Let's see some examples. The first, I'm going to use both the IDs, ID comma ID, ID comma ID. Right. Map record IDs equals to a new map, ID comma ID. Got it? So or else we can use both the things will be in string also. Map string comma string. Got it? String comma string. Fruit names equals to a new map string comma string. Got it? Right. So we can use the a combination also. So it's a combination. For example, I want to store the accounts with the record IDs. Accounts with the record IDs. Right. I see here map map ID comma account ID comma account C map accounts map accounts equals to new map ID comma account ID comma account. See here ID is nothing but what? ID is nothing but what? Account record ID is the key. Account record ID is the key. Got a point? Next one is what? Account. Next one is what? Account. Account is nothing but what? The whole account. Means what are the fields and everything. So we consider the whole account. So that is called the value. That is called the value. Got a point? That is called the value. Right? Right? Or else we can see in a different way. So we can call a list collection also here inside the map. Right? For example, let's see. Map account map account comma list of contact. Got it? So list of contact. I'm calling a list of contact. Got it? What was the name? Account contacts equals to a new map account comma list of contact. A list of contact. Got a point? See here. So here in this key is nothing but what? Keys. What was the key here? That is account record is the key. Next, so value. So which one is the value? Which one is the value? List of contact. List of contact associated with the accounts. Associated with what? The accounts. Got a point? Accounts will provide the accounts. The same as here, it's a list set and a map. List set, we're having a different method system. We're having a different method system. So let's see. So what was the method? Let's see what was the method. Map string comma string, right? Fruit names equals to a new map. Got it? Right. A new map string. Okay, so first one. So how can I add the values? How can I add the values? See, in list and set we used what add keyword, add method. So here we don't have add. So instead of add, we are calling that one as the put. We're calling as what? Put. Right? Put inside this, we have to pass the key value. Got it? Then after, so key and then after value. Then after key, then after value. Got a point? Right? It's nice that we used to do the collection. Got it? Right? Let me say the example. How can I write this one? Anyone having any idea? Hmm? What was the collection name? Fruit names. Fruit names dot put. Right? Put. Then after within the bracket, the first one is what? Key. So this is string now, and obviously I need to use the single quotes. Obviously I need to use the single quotes. Obviously we have to use the single quotes. 1 second. Right. So here the two things will be string. See here, yellow. So tell me the yellow color fruit name. Yellow color fruit name, banana. Ends with what? A semicolon. Ends with what? Semicolon. Next one is what? Red. Tell me what was the red color? Apple. Next will be black color. What was the fruit name in black color? Grapes. Grapes. Grapes will be in green color also. Green color also. See here you can observe one point later. So grapes, the value will be duplicate value, but coming to the key will be the same. Key will be the unique. Yellow, red, black, and green. Yellow, red, black, and green. But the values banana, apple, grapes two times. Grapes two times means what? It provides the uniqueness for this key value and duplicate for the values. Duplicate for the values. Got a point? Right. So this is what the first one put method. Just we are going to add the values. We are going to add the elements. Right. Then coming to the second one, put all. Put all map collection. Put all. So what is the meaning of put all? Right. We are going to use so one map to the another map. Got it? So what was the example? Fruit names. Right. So fruit names dot put all. Put all. Right. So what was the another collection? Got it? So this is the second method of put all. Next one is what we are going to find out the size. So what type of result it will gives the number that is called the what integer size. Integer size. Got it? It returns what? Indicate the selection size. How can I see the size? Collection name. Fruit names dot size. Fruit names dot size. Got a point? So fruit name now start. The next one is what? We are finding out empty or not. Boolean is empty. Boolean is empty. So fine. collection empty or not. It returns true. Got it? So how can I check that? Fruit names, dot is empty. Fruit names dot is empty, just for find routing. So this one empty or not. Then coming to the fifth one, remove. Fifth one is what? Remove. Here you have to pass the key value. Here you have to pass the key value. Got it? This method is used to remove the element specified key. Later, whatever the key value the user is provided, later, so based on that key value, so we remove that value. Got it? So how can I do that? Fruit names dot remove, and within the bracket, so what was the key? For example, yellow. Right, I'm going to remove that yellow. Got a point? Next one. Coming to the sixth type. Sixth method. A boolean contains 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 key. How to pass the key value? Pass the key value. Right. So just we are going to check whether that information will be available inside my map collection or not. Map collection or not. So for example, so there was a green color is there. Green is the key. Right. Here you have to pass the key values only, not the values. Not the values. Why? Because the values may be duplicate. Na? How many values it retrieve? So it is a Boolean type of data type, right? So it shows only true or false. It shows only a true or false. Right. Strategy is used to whether an element is there or not. Specified key or not. Got it. Then it returns true. It returns true when the element is there. Got it. Else it returns false. What was the example? See here. If root names dot contains key then after within the brackets you have to pass that key value. Right, you have to pass that a key value. Right, if it is contained, then what we have to do? So we need to write a logic. Remove the element. Remove the element logic. Right. Else what we have to do? Else what we have to do? Just have to show the message. Element not found. Element not found. Got it? So this is called the what? Just we are going to check whether this information is available or not. Right. The next one, seventh one, get. Seventh one is what? Get. Get is nothing but what? So we need to get the information in specific key. In specific key. Got it? What was the example? Root names dot get. Right. So within the brackets. So what was the key? For example, I'm calling here red. Right. So what was the red color information we are getting? That information. We are getting that information. Got it? Then coming to the next method. These all methods are very important. Why? Because right, so we are going to use these things in our triggers. Got it? The next one is what? Okay. Set a data type. Set a data type. Set data type. Right. So here, so whenever using this set, okay, so any data type like a string or integer or whatever it may be. So what happened? It returns what are the keys we are having. What was the keys we are having? All the keys. How many keys we are having? All the keys will be. It shows. All the keys will be. It shows. That's it returns inside the collection in terms of a set of collection. Why? Because keys will be the unique, right? So that's why here we used a set. Okay, so if we use a list, what happen? List we are getting the duplicate values also, right? So for what we can use this list for the values we can use a list, right? For the keys we can use the set. Why? Because list will allow also duplicate values. So maybe we don't know, okay, whether my list having some duplicate values or not. Got it? A set a string key collection equals to fruit names dot key set. fruit time dot keyset. We are using this method, right? Remember this one. Next one is what? A list. A list data types. List data types. Here, what we have to do, so we are using values. We are using values. Why? Because so maybe we are getting some duplicate issues. Got it? It returns in the form of for a list collection. It will be the set, and this will be the list. List string values collection equals to root names dot values. Root name dot values. The final one is what? Clear. Final one is what? Clear. Clear is about what? Removing everything. For example, root names dot clear. Root name dot clear. Okay, so these are the what? Mapper method. These are the what? Mapper methods. Right. So first what we are doing, creating an object for the map collection. How can I create? Map string comma string. Got it. So what was the name? Map fruits. Map fruits equals to a new map. Same thing. A string comma string. String comma string. Got it. Next step. I'm going to display the map collection. Later, so we can go to find out the size. Display the collection size. How can I display the collection size? A system dot debug. System dot debug. So here collection sizes. Collection sizes. Got it. What was the name? That is my fruit names dot size. My fruit name dot size. Got a point. So just you are find out in the size. Just you are find out in the size. Then click on execute. Click on debug only. See here the size is 0. Why? Because so we didn't store any element inside this map. Then what I'm doing, just I'm going to add in the values. See here, map fruits dot put. Think here we already written, right? We need to change the name. Got a point? And then after what I'm doing, so now I'm going to see the output. Later, directly we can write a system dot debug, system dot debug. After adding the elements, collection sizes. Got it? Collection sizes plus, got it. Then after what I'm doing, just I'm going to display the data. System dot debug collection elements is data. So what was the collection name? Here we can call that collection. Then click on execute. Q. Oh my god. Invited quotes. This one is not allowed. Only this type only allowed. Mm, this is double work. See, it's executed. Now I can check the output. Click on debug only. See, first its size will be 0, and then after size will be the 4. So what are the values? Black, green, red, and yellow. Got it. So by defaultly, it allows a ascending color. See here. So what was the first value stored here? Yellow, but it comes here black grapes. Got a point? Right. Then after what we have to do, I want to display the keys and the values. I want to display the keys and the values. Display key elements. How can I display? A system dot debug. Display the system dot debug. Key collection is plus. Right. So what was map collection name dot keyset. Keyset. Got it. So just we're displaying the keys. The same as I want to display the values. I want to display the values. If you want to display the values, and obviously instead of your key set, you have to display the values. Got it? Then click on execute. What happened here? Get the output. See here, it shows only the keys, black, green, red, yellow. It shows the values. It shows the values. Got a point? And then after adding the duplicate value, adding the duplicate elements, adding the duplicate elements. Right? How can I add? Dot put. Right? See here, I'm going to use red color once again. Right? So red comma cherry. Got it? Right. So now let's see. The system dot debug. After adding the duplicate elements. Click on execute. See here. So black grapes, green grapes, so red cherry, yellow banana. So previously we are having red apple. It is so previously we are having apple, but now it will be yellow. What we did, so the key will be the same. The value is override. The value is override. Next, get the element from the collection. How can I get? See, if map of fruits dot contains the key. Later, what was the value? Green. Green. Later, so if we have a green, then what we have to do? I have to show the system dot debug element value is dot get. So what was the color? Green. Or else what we have to do? What we have to do? System dot debug element not found. Let me check this one. We have element or not. See here grapes. With the name of green key, we're having grapes. We're having grapes. Got a point? And then after we are going to check the empty or not. Check the question empty or not. If fruit names dot is empty, right? If it is empty, then what we have to do? A system dot debug. What I'm showing, collection is empty. Collection is empty, right? Or else collection is not empty, right? A system.debug, collection is not empty. Got it. Let's try checking whether this one is empty or not. See, okay, got a point, right? So this is what, just checking the collection is empty or not. Empty or not. Third, get this okay. Remove an element. Remove an element. How can I remove a specific element? Got it? Right. If so, what was the name? That is a map of fruits, right? If map of fruits dot, so how can I check? So whether the particular element is available inside my map or not. So we can use a contain key. Contain key. So within the brackets, so we have to write. So what are the key values we're having? Let's go for the green color. Let's go for the green color. Got it? Right. So if this value is available, if it is true, then what we have to do? We have to use the remove, remove, remove green. So what we are doing here? Here just we're checking so whether the green color is available or not in the key. Right? If it is available, if it is true, then we go for the inside the loop, and we are removing this color. We are removing this color. Then after a system dot debug, system dot debug. After removing the element, collection sizes. How can I find out? Plus fruit names dot size. Dot size. Got a point? Right? If in the case this color is not available, this color is not available. In that situation, what we have to do? System dot debug, system dot debug element not found in the collection. Simple, right? If you have this value, first we're checking. If you have this value, remove it. Then after show the size, or else this one. Click on execute. Refer method does not exist. Instructor contains key string type mapper string entity. Contains, right? Contains. Execute. Click on debug only. See, after removing the element is, see, size is what? 3. Got a point? Right. So like this, we have to write the programs. So we remove the element. We remove the element. Okay. So then uh, we disperse what are the all the keys we have. Yes. We disperse what are the keys and what are the elements we have. Then, so we need to display the both the keys and values. Both the keys and values. For string element key, right? A map of fruits dot key set. Map of fruit dot key set. Got a point? Just I'm going to display all the information through the enhanced profile method. Got it? System dot debug. System dot debug. What's that? Element key. Element key is plus. This is an instance name, right? Element key plus. Got it? Element key plus. uh, Value. Value is plus. Oh, in this map dot get element key. We're getting all the values. Keys here, keys, and here the values. Got it? Then click on execute. Click on debug only. See here, yellow, red, black value. This is the element key, and this is the value. This is the value. Got it? The next final one is what? I want to remove entire the collection. How can I use map of fruits dot clear? Am I right? Map name dot clear. So what we did? So just we remove. How can I check? System dot debug within the brackets after removing the all elements, right? Collection size. Collection size map fruits dot size. Map fruits dot size semicolon. Now click on execute. So once we clear everything, then it will be 0. Then it will be 0. Just click on debug only. See here, map size is 0. Map size is a 0. Got a point? Later. So this is called the what? A map collection. This is called the what? Map collection. As of now, we discussed what? A list, set, and map. A list, set, and map.